GoldenEye. BYU went James Bond in Southern Mississippi. Find out which Cougar sharpshooter played the role of assassin.
Steed's last stand. Women's basketball came up short against St. Mary's and said goodbye to their spectacular floor general.
And Dream Chasers. We all know about Ziggy, but see which other Cougars improved their draft stock at football's Pro Day. I'm Carson McKinley.
And I'm Corey Aldis. Book your tickets to NYC. It's time for the Tube. Great news, Carson. I'm back from my 1 week
You are
hiatus.
indeed. We missed you. It's good to have you back. It's good to have BYU basketball back.
BYU is rolling right now into the
Absolutely.
semis in the NIT. We're excited about that. Let's take a recap on that. BYU men's basketball was looking for some Southern hospitality in Mississippi Wednesday night, and the Golden Eagles of Southern Miss were more than accommodating. Usually Brandon Davies and Tyler Hawes are the main offense for the Cougs, but not the case in this one. Who is the dude wearing Brock Zylstra's jersey? For real. One thing's for sure, it wasn't me, because this kid was unconscious from deep. He's got 99 problems, but draining threes ain't one. Zylstra goes 5 of 6 from beyond the arc in the first half. I guess you could say he had a memorable game. On the other side of that, the Golden Eagles leading scorer Dwayne Davis, you'd probably like to forget about Wednesday night. Davis went 4 of 16 from the field. Southern Miss couldn't buy a bucket against BYU. They shot just 33% from the floor. Tough game for them. Mid-range game, on the other hand, for the man himself, Tyler Hawes. Seriously, that is a thing of beauty. He led all scorers with 25 as the Cougs dominate with a 79-62 win and head to the Big Apple to take on Baylor in the semis of the NIT.
It's Monday now. Senior Brandon Davies suited up for his last game in the Marriott Center against the upset-minded Mercer Bears. Travis Smith hit his first 3 ball for the Bears, but that's the only time his team led because BYU came in shooting lights out. Matt Carlino was dialed in from deep to take the lead, and then Brandon Davies took control. Watch and learn, kids. Call him the bus driver because he's taking kids to school. And the foul. Davies had a double-double in his final home game. BYU shut the door in the second half. Carlino with a pretty pass to Tyler Hawes for the flush. The Cougar bench scored just 4 points, but it didn't matter. BYU showed no mercy and beats up on the Bears 90-71.
The 2 wins send the Cougars to the NIT semifinals in Madison Square Garden, and their opponent will look plenty familiar. Coog Tube reporter Sean Gordon is here with me to talk about BYU's rematch against Baylor.
Yep.
Now, we lost to them by 15 back in December. We all remember that.
Yeah, I wish we didn't.
Yeah, for real. What happened in that game, though?
Well, like you said, we lost by 15. We lost 79-64 to Baylor in Waco. But BYU was up 11 early on before Tyler Hawes hit the bench with his second foul, and then the momentum changed completely. Pierre Jackson was a main cause of that. He had 16 points and 9 assists versus Baylor. He averages 19.7 points per game. He's great at getting into the key. He's a 5'10 little speedster. On the other hand, you've got Isaiah Austin. He's a 7'1 center. He doesn't have a whole lot of offensive polish, but when you're that big and that athletic, you're going to get your own. He had 14 and 10 against BYU.
Well, we really struggled against the size of Austin. Plus, he can step all the way back out to the three-point line and drop in trays as well. So BYU, they seem like a much different team, though, so far in the NIT. What's been the difference?
Oh, the biggest difference has been their three-point shooting. They're shooting 38% from the three-point line compared to just 33% during the season. And it may not seem like that much, but it actually is. And then you've got Matt Carlino. He's averaging 18 points and 9 assists, playing within himself, playing well, playing with confidence here in the NIT. You got to keep that going. And then Brock Zylstra, where was he this whole season? Last 2 games he had 14 against Mercer and then 23 against Southern Miss. He really carried BYU early on with those 3-pointers against Southern Miss.
Like you mentioned, they really need to play within themselves. We love the underdogs, especially here in March. BYU's definitely an underdog against Baylor. What do the Cougars need to do to pull off that upset?
Well, the first thing they got to do is they've got to play defense like they did against Southern Miss. They did a great job at keeping the guards from penetrating and being able to either get easy shots or dish. They've got to do that again against Baylor. They've also got to keep out of foul trouble. Like I said, when Hawes got his second foul, hit the bench, that's when things changed. Davies, too, got to stay on the floor. And then Carlino and Zylstra have just got to play like they've been playing. Play loose, play confident, but not try to do too much.
We'll have to see what happens. A tall task, but let's hope we can pull the upset. Thanks, Sean.
The women's basketball team, like the men, have been playing each game knowing it could be their last. Saturday was no different when the Cougars hosted the San Diego State Aztecs. Kehlani Unga opened the game by taking the ball to the rim. Fellow senior Haley Steed joined the effort, showing off her range and why she's second in the country in assists. Steed finished with 13 points and half a dozen dimes. Guard Courtney Clements tried to keep the Aztecs close, but SDSU couldn't get stopped. Kim Beeston led all scorers with 17 points. Dominating the paint like Van Gogh always helps. Jen Hampson put in another double-double effort with 10 points and 17 boards. Cougars advance to see St. Mary's on Wednesday. From former conference foe San Diego, the Cougs jumped to current rival, the St. Mary's Gales, on Wednesday. Super-duper senior Haley Steed started off cold, finishing the first half scoreless. Jojan Harry more than made up the difference with 8 first-half points, including these 2 threes. BYU carried a 4-point advantage into the break. Nobody can keep Steed laying an Easter egg for long. She started off the second half with this triple. BYU held onto the lead throughout the half. With 4:39 to play, Hampson scored the Cougars' last bucket. Lead to 5-point lead, or would the 5-point lead hold? No. BYU watched their season fall apart. St. Mary's scored 9 unanswered points, but Jen Hampson fouled out. And trailing by 3, this is all the Cougars could cook up. BYU calls it a year with the 59-55 loss. Steed finishes her career atop the BYU record books with 813 assists. That's the most by 200. She's third in steals and 3-pointers, made and has played in more games than anyone before her. Head coach Jeff Judkins has a big void to fill for next season.
I'm not sure if I played for 10 seasons that I could come up with those stats.
Absolutely not. It's crazy.
Jeez. When Coog Tube returns, level up. Former Cougars impressed at Pro Day, but do they have what it takes to play on Sundays?
And crush, crush, crush. Men's volleyball is on a 10-game win streak. We've got highlights of the most recent conquests. Stay with us.